the Carlos Sainz unicorn helmet. So for the last drive of the season, Sainz had his whole helmet feature Sparkles the unicorn, which was
Hmm.
like the wholesome story of like one of his young fans sending him the sticker. And he had been putting the sticker on his other helmets, but then for this one, it's like purple and pink and blue. I just thought it was such a like a neat way to, close out the story of like this fan
Oh,
and the wholesome content that they'd been creating. And just really give props to the fan because ever since he had gotten the sticker, he'd been performing a lot better. So, obviously it gave him a little confidence boost, though he didn't do that well on this race. But
yeah.
the point is that, he closed out the story with the fan.
Great driver though, great driver. Did they like make like merchandise out of
They
sparkles?
did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then they were giving part of the profits to the fan and her
Yeah.
family. So that was a, good way
Yeah.
to bring it back to them and what they had created.
I think it's something that actually other companies can emulate more. Founder-led marketing or founder brand or something like that. Basically, how do you put a storyline inside your brand that people are invested in? I think it's a good thought experiment.
Yeah, I think that was like the biggest thing that I found about, this story where it's like first of all, it's user generated content, right? Where like
Yeah.
they're participating eagerly and it's giving you a different thing to focus on. The fact that, they were going back and forth, that it wasn't just something that felt they were taking advantage of, like they you had the videos of like Carlos and Alex talking to the fan. Um Acknowledging, Sparkles and the sticker, having the photos, showing that the unicorn sticker is on the helmet when he got onto the podium,
Yeah.
that first time, that really thanking, Sparkles and the little girl for
Yeah.
like the confidence and the inspiration. And so it was a lot of like, back and forth and really engaging with them. And I felt like that was the part that people were engaging with is like, oh my God, like
Yes.
look how cool this is. And then all of a sudden there's a turnaround of like him actually performing a lot better with like the car. And then the whole storyline of Williams themselves, right? Where it's like they went from like being the bottom, right, these past few years to being fifth, for the first time and like how long,
Yeah.
so it was kind of like everything just kind of, played into it. And I saw a lot of people actually comparing it to F1 the movie, right? Where it's like
Yeah.
you had them doing so poorly, like in the beginning, particularly Carlos Sainz, right? Like he was still figuring out the car and, not doing really well on the early part of the season. And then you have like the turnaround of like the Sparkles the unicorn and then the car doing better, Sainz winning or getting the podium two times. So it's just kind of like that Hollywood story. So it's all just kind of like magical. And I think people
Yeah.
just like those type of like feel good stories. So it was kind of really cool.
And Drive to Survive.
Oh, I know, right? That's gonna make a really great episode.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, cool.